What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today, guys, we are finally going to be discussing Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Yes, I'm finally doing a video on Go Rush. I do apologize for not talking about it when it was announced during Jump Festa. I was gone for the holidays, so I wasn't able to really do any videos on Jump Festa or any videos at all because of the holiday season. But since the holiday season is now over and we are officially into 2022, I thought it would be a very fitting way to start off this year by talking about the newest installment in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime franchise, Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. We'll be going over the extended summary that we got. We're going to be going over the 4 character bios, give my overall thoughts on Go Rush, and then essentially talk about the ramification of 7s, since obviously with this being the 8th Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, this does mean that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is going to be ending very soon, so obviously I'm going to give my thoughts on that as well. So with that being said, without further ado, let's not waste any more time, and let's jump right into it. Alright, so here is the extended summary for Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Yuhiodo and Yuemuodo are elementary schooler twins living in Matsuba Town who are in charge of the alien extermination company UTS, or ATC. They spend their days working really hard searching for aliens using a mysterious device created by Yuji. That is, until one fateful day. Right after they created a mysterious school club, they finally found a real spaceship, and inside of it, they made contact with Eudius, an alien from the distant Valgear star cluster. Eudius has come to Earth after he and his comrades were chased from his native star cluster, seeking a way to a new future. With rush duels, seems like it might offer a means to do so, but knows nothing about it. Yuji challenges the newbie Eudius to a rush duel in order to give him a helping hand. This is first contact between elementary schooler students and aliens via rush duel. Now it is time to enter the new stage of rush duel introduced by this alien soldier from the far ends of the galaxy. Let's go Rush. Alright, so obviously there is a lot to talk about from this summary, but I'm actually going to hold it off a little bit. I'm going to real quickly go over the 4 bios that we got for the characters for Eudius, for Yuji, for Yuemu, and another character that's on the poster that we'll get to last. So we're going to start off by going over Eudius's bio. But before we actually go over Eudius's bio, I want to kind of discuss something in regards to Eudius. So we know based off of the summary that Eudius is going to be an alien. Not the first time we've seen aliens in past Yu-Gi-Oh shows. I think of, the Baryons, the people of Astroworld from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. We've seen aliens before in previous Yu-Gi-Oh! shows. But Eudius has a special quirk to him being an alien, because not only is he an alien, he's going to be our protagonist for Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. And no, you did not hear me wrong. Eudius Valgear, which is his full name, by the way, is going to be our protagonist for Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. And it's very weird, to say the least, since we have never, in any piece of Yu-Gi-Oh! Media, anime or manga related, that the protagonist was an alien. And you know what? I'm completely fine with it. I have no issue with it whatsoever. I mean, they want to try something new with having an alien as a protagonist? Go for it, I say. Anytime, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wants to try something new, I'm down for it. So, Eudius is an alien that is going to be a protagonist. Is it going to be weird? Absolutely. Is it going to be wacky? Absolutely. Am I going to be excited for this show? Absolutely. So, let's go over his bio, which, actually, before I do that, his voice actor is Arthur Lonsberry. Didn't want to forget that as well. But his bio reads, an alien from the Valgear star cluster on the far side of the galaxy. He was chased out of his home due to a long struggle and came to Earth after hearing about Rush Duel, which could lead his friends and comrades to a new future. He's a beginner in Rush Duel, but uses Galaxy type, a new type of monster never seen before. So yeah, not really much was added to this bio. In fact, what it seems like to me is that they literally, for the extended summary, took Eudius's bio, changed the wording of it a little bit, and took out the galaxy type mentioned in this bio, which we'll get into in just a second. and put it into the extended summary and essentially added the whole thing about, Yuhi being the one to challenge Eudius to a rush duel to kind of get him acquainted with rush duels, which, by the way, Eudius will win. Every protagonist has won their first ever duel in the anime and manga, so I don't see that being the exception for Yudius, and more than likely he's going to use one of the two new boss monsters that we got alongside Yudius, the two ethereal looking ones, not the T-Rex looking one, which, by the way, that one's going to be for Yuhi, which we'll get into him in just a second, but he's going to use one of those monsters to defeat Yuhi. More than likely, my prediction is going to be the swordsman looking guy, because I do believe he's going to be essentially what the Junk Warrior and Decode equivalent is to like Yusei and Yusaku, because it seems like you kind of have a dynamic with those two being like, Junk Warrior and Stardust Dragon's equivalents for Yusei Fudo, and then like Decode Talker and Firewall Dragon with Yusaku. That's essentially what these two cards are going to be for Eudius, but his bio is very interesting and very, very dark. So essentially he had to leave his hometown because he ended up getting into a war and essentially had to escape to Earth, and thought that rush duels could be a way to essentially fight against this war, to essentially lead his friends and his comrades to a new future. So that's very interesting. So very, very dark. And he's also going to be using a new type of monster called the Galaxy type, which, in my opinion, is going to be really the true first new type coming to the game of Rush Duel. And the reason I say that is because looking back at what Cyborg and, Magical Knight and those types ended up becoming, from the Sevens era, they weren't really new types. In fact, they just essentially ended up becoming gimmicks for multi-choice effect fusion monsters, which not really a big fan of that, but that's a discussion for another time. But the Galaxy type seems like it's going to be like your typical type of monster, like Spellcasters, Cybers, Warrior, Dragon. Like, it's going to be like the other types in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, but Galaxy type monsters seem like they're going to have kind of like an ethereal vibe to them, which I'm completely fine with that. And I think these two monsters look really cool. My favorite being the Dragon. I really think the Dragon looks pretty sick. I've seen a lot of people compare it to Firewall, and besides the rings and it being a dragon, that's really much for the Firewall comparison. But you know what? Firewall's a dragon, he has rings, so you know what? Good enough for me. But I would say that Dragon is personally my favorite. With the ethereal looking Warrior looks pretty cool as well, and then you have the T-Rex one we'll go over a little bit later when we go to Yuhi's bio. But overall, I think the two new monsters look pretty sick in my opinion, and that's really much it for Eudius. Pretty interesting bio with him, with essentially leaving his hometown to come to Earth to learn about rush duels using the new type, Galaxy type, and essentially he's going to try to use rush duels to essentially save his planet and lead him to a new future. Seems pretty interesting for the most part, but now we're going to go on to the next character, which is going to be Yuhiodo. His voice actor is Kumagi Toshiki, I think that's how you're supposed to say it, and his bio reads, a 5th grader who loves rush duel. He believes an alien stole a mysterious substance called Earth Damar, I think that's how you're supposed to say that, from him, so he's been searching far and wide for aliens to get it back. He's good at working with and tinkering machines, and has invented a variety of items to help catch aliens. His deck ace monster is Machine type, which obviously referring to the Dino machine looking monster, which I think the design is fine in my opinion. It's my least favorite out of the bunch. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it looks like a freaking Digimon, which is super weird to say. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I swear, to me, it looks like a freaking Digimon. But boy, oh boy, what to say about Yuhiodo. So obviously he's going to be a twin to Yuemuodo, or at least that's what it seems like is going to be the case. But one thing to kind of note from them comes in their name, and their last name being Odo. Now, if you remember back in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, the last and current show right now, the protagonist's last name is Odo, meaning two things. One, these characters are completely different from each other. They might be in an alternative universe or something like that, and that these characters are going to have no relevancy to Yuga whatsoever, or we're going to have to look at the aspect that Yuga did it with someone and essentially had children, which is super hard to put that concept in mind, especially since looking at sevens and knowing that Yuga is a freaking 12-year-old boy, thinking in the future that he potentially did it with one of the characters in the Sevens franchise, which, God, fan shippers are probably loving this, like, holy crap. But yeah, that's something we gotta now put in our mindsets, and I honestly don't know how to feel about it. I really don't. But who knows? Maybe these characters are completely different. Who really knows? But I don't know about that, because the fact that you have Yuhiodo loving to tinker with machines, come on, that is freaking Yuga to the max, but with a different hairstyle. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of hard to chalk them up as not being Yuga's kids, which it's going to be weird from that aspect of thinking about it, but I think at the same time it's going to be interesting because we've never had the children of characters in any piece of Yu-Gi-Oh! Media, so that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, he is going to be the one to duel against Eudius, and I do believe is going to be the one to lose. He'll use the new Ace monster, but I don't think it will be enough. And the other thing to really talk about with his bio is that apparently he's looking for something called Earthdamar that apparently an alien stole from him, and essentially that's why he's a part of this alien extermination company, is because of the fact that an alien stole the Earthdamar from him and he wants to get it back. So that's essentially what his whole concept is going to be, which makes the duel a little bit more interesting because of the fact that Yuhi is trying to hunt aliens to get his Earthdamar back, and he's going to be dueling against an alien. So the dialogue in the first episode is going to be very interesting with that mindset that he's trying to find this Earthdamar thing, whatever the word this Earthdamar thing is. I don't know what the hell this is, but that's going to be a very big aspect to Yuhi's character. But that's going to be it for Yuhi, and now we're going to go on to his sister, which is going to be Yuemuodo. Her voice actor is Fukushima, I believe that's how you're supposed to say, Coco, and her bio reads, Yuhi's twin younger sister. She is the president of UTS, which specializes in getting rid of troublesome aliens. She uses Yuhi's passion towards aliens for the sake of expanding her company. She uses powerful dragon types in rush duels and is apparently even stronger than Yuhi. Okay, so there's some pretty interesting things that's going to be coming out of Yuemuodo here. So she's the president of UTS, which shouldn't really be a surprise. I mean, look back at Sevens. You know, you had 6 kids running an entire city, and now you have this character who is going to be running an alien extermination company. That's just the way bridge animes are going to be, I guess. She also takes Yuhi's passion towards aliens, whether it's related to the Earthdamar or not, which more than likely is going to be the case. But who knows? Maybe, you know, Yuhi has more connection with aliens than just the Earthdamar. Maybe when he was an even younger kid, maybe he wanted to essentially find aliens to try to just communicate with other life. Who really knows? And essentially she's going to take that passion and essentially expand the company with more than likely Yuhi's inventions. And the final thing to really mention with her is that we know she's going to be using a dragon type deck, which I don't think any girl character has used like a pure dragon type deck. We've had Akiza who used the dragon type monster in Black Rose Dragon, but just the one monster. The rest of her deck was plant type, if I remember correctly. So her using a complete dragon type, completely fine with that. And apparently she's a stronger duelist than Yuhi, which is very interesting to know. But unfortunately, we don't really know much else in regards to her. We don't know anything about her ace monster or anything like that. So that's really much it for it. But we did get some pretty interesting information from Yuemuodo. So we're going to now go into the final character for Go Rush, or at least that we have a bio on. And the final character is going to be Yugioh. I think that's how you're supposed to say his name. And his voice actor is Aguchi Takia. With the bio reading, he was once a warrior fighting for the Velgear Star Cluster, serving as Eudius' senior officer. He got involved in a battle at a certain battlefield, and his fate remained unknown, but has now suddenly appeared on Earth in Mutsuba Town in front of Eudius. It looks like he's interested in rush duels, just like Eudius is, but what's his real goal? So, right off the bat, we got a pretty interesting character on our hands, which, by the way, love his design. I think he actually has a pretty cool design, and so does Eudius. And not saying like the twins are bad either. I think they have pretty nice designs, but definitely Eudius and YGO are the highlight character designs for me personally, but I don't think the twins are that bad in my opinion as well. But YGO has a very interesting background with him. So he essentially came from the same place as Eudius, so is from Velgear. And apparently, during the war on a certain battlefield, he essentially probably died, or at least Eudius and the other people of the Velgear Star Cluster thought that he had died, and that's where you kind of get this little bit of a shock factor now that he's on Earth in front of Eudius, and Eudius is probably going to be surprised by this because he thought that Yugioh died, but it doesn't look like that's the case, and now you have Yugioh, who is also in for rush duels as well, as he wants to try and learn about rush duels as well, but I feel like his goals are going to be a lot more different than what Eudius is trying to do, and I'm kind of getting a little bit of a Revolver vibe from Yugioh, just for the sole reason that I do believe that for the first arc of the show, or the first season, however they're going to do this structure for Yu-Gi-Oh! 8, they have the big potential of having this character be one of the antagonists for the arc, and then after he is defeated, he might become more of a prominent, like, rival character to Eudius, or at least that's what I do believe. I do believe that at some point, Yugioh, whatever the hell you're supposed to call him, is essentially going to become the rival of the show to Eudius. That's what I truly do believe. And we're going to have a very interesting dynamic between him, and especially learning, what happened during that battlefield and how is he able to still be alive based off of how the bio says that he got injured on a certain battlefield to the point where they essentially thought he died. So that's going to be very interesting to kind of learn a little bit more about Yugioh and what actually happened to him during that battle in the certain battlefield. So, very interesting bio for Yugioh, and with that being said, that's going to be really it for all the information that we know so far on Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. So yeah, with that being said, general thoughts on Go Rush, pretty excited for it. I mean, we have some pretty interesting concepts with these four characters, the whole thing with Eudius being a part of the Velgear Star Cluster, and essentially was participating in a war between the Velgear Star Cluster and whoever else it's going to be, probably the main villains of this new show. They're probably going to be explaining that a little later on, maybe get a little bit more information before Go Rush on what the antagonists might be, who really knows. But yeah, the whole thing with Eudius and what happened, even with Yugioh as well being a part of that as well, and assumingly dying on the battlefield and then appearing on Earth out of nowhere in front of Eudius, that's going to be very interesting. Yuhi and the whole stuff about the Earth Damar is very fascinating, and then you also have Yuemuodo, who's going to be the Alien Extermination Company president, and that's going to have some pretty interesting aspects to it as well. So overall, I'm actually pretty excited for this new series, and it seems like it's going to be more on the darker side than what Sevens brought, which this show kind of needs to do that. I mean, Sevens was a very, very comedic show, and yeah, I know the last couple of episodes of Sevens has kind of changed that a little bit, with Go Hyuga, but most of the show, 90% of the show, was very comedic. So to have a more darker themed show with Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, I'm down for it. I do believe it should have like a kind of like a 50-50 balance between comedy and, a dark tone to it, which I do believe we're going to be seeing that in Go Rush. So overall, I'm pretty excited for it, but obviously you got to talk about the aspect with Sevens as well, since Sevens is going to be ending very soon, since this is going to be released April 2022, which means Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is going to end at the last week of March, which is going to be very sad to see. You know, anytime a Yu-Gi-Oh! Show ends, it's always sad to see, especially since, you know, most people didn't expect Sevens to only last for 2 years, but my kind of argument to that is that, you know, we're gonna kind of have some like Sevens spirit in Go Rush, you know, with the twins having the same last name as Odo, the town being named after Asana's last name. Like, we're gonna have some Sevens spirit in Go Rush. So hey, if you're gonna miss Sevens, at least you're still gonna have some Sevens aspect with Go Rush. So I'm completely down for it, and hey, when one series ends, another one can begin, and that's essentially what we're seeing here. And at least the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is still gonna be continuing on, so that's a win-win in my book. So, yeah, kind of sad that Sevens is going to be ending, but pretty excited for Go Rush as well. But with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Before I end off this video, I want to real quickly talk about some things in regards to this channel. You may or may not have noticed that some videos had disappeared from my channel, as I have made the tendency to start privating some of my videos. For anyone that doesn't know the whole situation that's going on, a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creators have been getting hit by NAS, which was part of the original Studio Gallop Yu-Gi-Oh! Animes alongside with TV Tokyo, and apparently they've been hitting Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content creators. For example, they hit Spell Commander 96, they hit Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and they hit Noah Jank, who actually lost his channel because he was not able to fight the claims. So Noah Jank was essentially no longer has a YouTube channel, which is really unfortunate. I really did like the content he did for Yu-Gi-Oh! He was known for doing the What Makes a Duel series. He did 4 episodes on it, I believe, and I thought they were pretty solid videos in my opinion. So it's very sad to see those videos have gone away because he was not able to essentially fight the claims on it, which is always unfortunate when we lose a Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creator. But I took the notion of this and decided to private any Gallop videos just so that my channel doesn't get hit, because I'm in a lot bigger risk for my channel just getting deleted automatically since I am a smaller channel. So I decided to take the precautions that were necessary, and I decided to just start privating videos until this whole NAS thing gets resolved. So do not expect any Gallop related videos on this channel for the time being until this whole situation gets figured out. So I just wanted to kind of real quickly let you guys know about the whole situation and what to kind of expect on the channel for the time being until this situation gets cleared. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Go Rush. Did you like the announcement for Go Rush, or did you not really like it? And your thoughts on Sevens ending early. Did you see Sevens ending in 2 years, or did you not really see this happening at all, and were you very surprised by this? But with that being said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.